Hey guys, Brian here. So let's go over finances. All right, so you're starting to run your own show. You really want to get in the habit and the discipline of doing a few very simple things to have your finances under control, so that as you start to bring in more money, which that's what we want, you're able to keep track of it and keep your books in order. So in the beginning, you're not going to have an accountant. It's basically going to be on you. So one of the biggest things that you can do once you start training people, whether you're bringing in $20 or you're bringing in $250, you want to keep that money separate from your personal money. So what I mean by that is, if you've got your own checking account where your paychecks are being dropped from your regular job, or you have a savings account, you don't want to meddle those funds that you're bringing in from your personal training, your boot camps, whatever you're doing, guerrilla style training. You don't want to meddle that cash with your personal stuff. So what you need to do is go to your bank or to another bank and set up a separate checking account. It only costs like 25 bucks to set up a checking account. It's not that big of a deal. You don't even really need the checks, but just set up that checking account and get yourself a debit card for that account and start putting in the funds that you're making. So people are going to be writing you checks. At that point, you're probably not taking credit cards. If you are, that's fine. You can, nowadays with Square and things like that, you can set up systems to take credit card payments. But at this point, when you're doing mobile personal training, to get yourself started out there, a lot of people are paying you in cash and they're paying you with checks. So dump that cash either into that account or in a separate envelope so that you can keep track of what you're bringing in, and don't meddle it with your personal. So number one, do not mix personal income with biz income. So there may come a time where you're going to set aside some of that money that you're bringing in to pay yourself. If you're paying yourself, then whatever you're paying yourself, you can then dump it into your personal checking account. But keep it separate at all times. Because really what we're trying to find out at this point is, am I being profitable? You know, you don't want to be going downhill and you have no idea what type of money you're bringing in, and then more importantly, how much is going out. So we'll talk about that now. What you need to do next is set up a simple profit and loss statement, or P&L. You can do this on QuickBooks. If you have an accountant, they can do it for you too. In the beginning, for myself, I didn't know how to use any of that, so I just set up a simple Excel spreadsheet. And basically what you're going to do is you'll set it up, and this is very basic, guys. You're going to have your income. So you'll keep a tab, let's say, in 1 month from various clients that you have. You bring in $2K, and then you're going to have your outgo. Okay, so your outgo is going to be your expenses on running that small part-time business with these clients, whether you're going to their homes or you're doing stuff in the parks. So some of those expenses would be equipment that you're buying. For myself, I was having to travel around a lot in the very beginning. I was driving to different cities to train people, so I was using the income from my clients to pay my gas. So I would keep track of all the gas. But basically, what you want to see is your outgo becoming more than your income? And if that's the case, then you're in big trouble. You want to try and keep that outgo below what your income is, which makes perfect sense. This isn't rocket science, guys, but you want to keep track of it. The other thing is you want to keep records on what equipment what certifications, everything that you're buying to build this business, okay? So in the very beginning, like I had said in a previous video, I used to, whatever cash I would bring in, I would set out a certain percentage of it to go and buy equipment, whether it be on Craigslist or through various equipment companies. I would keep track of all that. I used a Word document, but basically just said the date, how much I spent, and the exact equipment. That's going to help you later on when you do get with a bookkeeper or when you got to do your taxes. We can go over that in another video. But as of right now, if you're just bringing in a little bit of cash here, some checks here, we want to keep track of all that. You want to see how much money this service is bringing in and how much you can invest to build it even bigger. And then the last thing that we want to do is, so you want to start what's called an emergency fund. Okay? So emergency fund is if for some reason, let's say something happens to you where you can't train people for a while, let's say you get sick or something like that. This emergency fund, if you have bills or anything for the gym, this will help you get through those rough times. It'll also, my emergency fund in the very beginning that I was building up, I was using this so that when it came time that I was going to get a warehouse or a facility, I would have the first and last month's rent, the damage deposit, all of that. So you want to set aside a certain amount to just push into a savings. And like I said, keep it separate from your personal. Okay, if I can reiterate that, keep it all separate from your personal. So set up that emergency fund. You can set up the percentages however you want. For me, I was always taking 30% of every dollar that I brought in and I was putting it in that emergency fund. If you have any questions, I can elaborate more on this via email. You can email me at Thomason, Thomason, Brian, Brian, @gmail.com. If you like these videos and they're helping you out, please subscribe or comment down below. All right, take it easy, guys.